Greetings. This is Matt Meyer, and it's a great honor to send greetings as the Secretary General of the International Peace Research Association. It's really a sadness for me not to be there in India with you all. In addition to being in some ways the birthplace of modern peace and nonviolence, India is also the place where I was elected Secretary General some years ago at our conference in Ahmedabad. And so I'm sad to miss this important gathering of the Regional Association, but very excited to look over the program, to see the extraordinary group of scholars gathered here, and to be actually excited about later today taking part virtually in the panel of scholars looking at Africa, peace studies and nonviolence being my area of personal specialization and history. I'm giving this greeting on behalf of IPRA to note the significance of this gathering and this moment and the theme of redefining our work. There could be no more important or better theme than this one for this particular moment in history. I spent much of the last 6 months traveling for the first time since the beginning of the COVID pandemic throughout Europe, East and West, and through various parts of Africa. And my theme, the recurring conversation that my lectures and my presentations focused upon, was the idea of decolonizing peace studies. And so this theme, the theme of redefining the peace, justice, and nonviolence academic work that we do together, is extremely vital and prescient. To me, redefining has to be about decolonization. It has to be about a focus on the global south, on Asia and the Pacific, and also on Africa, Latin America, and the Middle East. And so the role that APPRA plays and has played is particularly important and significant in the growth and the development of the entire field of peace research and peace studies as we continue. I talked about the idea of India as a central place, and we think, of course, of Gandhi, but the struggles going on now, the struggles against fascism and neo-fascism, against neoliberalism, and the ongoing struggles against militarism and patriarchy and all forms of oppression are as significant, if not more significant, than the struggles of the last century. As I say, I'm an Africanist, and so we are very much focused on it. I'll be talking later at the panel of Sankofa, the idea of looking back to look forward. And I think the role that the Indian and the Gandhian and post-Gandhian movements play has got to be in that format. We can't just look back and talk about the great achievements of the past. We have to only look back in order to look forward and to build, as Vinoba Bhave did, as Jayaprakash Narayan did, as Narayan Bai, one of my mentors and tutors did, at how nonviolence, justice, and peace interact in this moment, in the 21st century. And this conference comes at a time when almost at the same moment, there is the North American Peace and Justice Studies Association Conference, which will be discussing similar themes. Next month, in November, some of us will be in Juba, South Sudan, for the African Peace Research and Education Association's conference. And we have Archbishop Tutu's grandson joining us in person, along with a host of scholars from throughout the continent. Next April, We have the Latin American Peace Research Association Conference in Chile. And even though the Chilean constitution, what many have called the most democratic, inclusive, and exciting constitution ever written, was not fully ratified by the Chilean people, that struggle and the ongoing struggles in Latin America to build what our Claip sisters and brothers have called the new normal, never a return to the old ways, but the idea of a new normalcy that looks towards the liberation of all people, that's the direction we need to be going in. So I guess when I think about redefining, I'm just going to note two things that IPRA is involved with that I'd like all of you to think about and get involved with as well. The first is looking at the question of women's power, because we can't think about redefining our movements without greater leadership of women. And so what I've put on the screen here is IPRA's community page in the ongoing peace media website called Waging Nonviolence. And just now, we have a great Afghani scholar writing a piece that was published today on what historic women's uprising in Iran teaches us all about resisting authoritarianism. So I invite everyone to look carefully at the Waging Nonviolence pages and to not only read that special piece about women's leadership in Iran and elsewhere, but also to contribute by reading and also by submitting articles to our IPRA Peace Search page. Finally, I want to mention, and you might have seen it already, that we will come together as we do every 2 years in a very special global gathering of peace scholars at the IPRA conference in Trinidad and Tobago in May. Rooted Futures, Visions of Peace and Justice is the theme of that conference, and we expect people from every corner of this fragile but resilient planet of ours to be together. So, I hope that some of you can consider joining us in person and all of you become part of us virtually in May in Trinidad. But more significantly, I wish you all an incredible, robust, rigorous, exciting, and also fun time together here at this significant APPRA conference. On behalf of the International Peace Research Association, this is Matt Meyer, wishing you all the blessings and all the best for an incredible, exciting, and important conference.